Welcome to TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. Cleveland Hopkins International Airport recently revised their ground transportation system. Airport Director Robert Kennedy and Chief of Regional Development Ed Ripka filled us in on the changes.
Two factors have come into play that are resulting in the implementation of changes and modifications in that pickup and drop-off that Director Kennedy will explain in a second. And both of them are construction related. The one that was most immediate was this upper roadway outside of this terminal is to have an expansion joint capital project improvement commence. That's a 3-month process that'll take place. We were looking to start that project now in March, having it done well before the international visitors come to Cleveland for the baseball All-Star game. But it turns out that the fabrication work that's needed for that project by itself will take 10 weeks. Therefore, if we started construction at the conclusion of 10 weeks, that would be a construction zone in July when the All-Star game would start. So we are pushing back the commencement of that project till later in July, around August the 1st. The second project that's going to take place is relative to the Ground Transportation Center, and again, a multi-million-dollar project, an improvement to enhance the quality of the experience for our passengers that will use that facility. But again, we'll be able to accelerate what should be a 1-year construction project and not have our passengers using Hopkins be navigating through a construction zone by just shutting it down and allowing that project to take place and get to a completion in hopefully a lot less than a 1-year period of time.
So we will begin phasing back some pickup and some drop-off at the terminal frontage road. That will be for private car limousine, not just private cars. Private cars have always been welcome at the curb front, but also Uber, Lyft, those transportation network companies will be going to the upper and lower roadway systems. After that move occurs, 3 days later, we will move the taxis from the garage in the Ground Transportation Center back to where they were originally, which is on the south baggage level. And then by March 1st, we will move the shuttles, which have been in the Ground Transportation Center since 2015 for the construction for the facade and so forth here, will go to our north baggage level.
Over 10 million passengers are projected to fly in and out of Hopkins this year. For more information, visit clevelandairport.com. Ward 9 Councilman Kevin Conwell was joined by Ward 10 Councilman Anthony Hairston, Ward 8 Councilman Mike Polensek, members of the City of Cleveland Safety Divisions, and various departments at the Glenville Recreation Center for a safety forum. Residents had an opportunity to ask questions, air grievances, and get information. Commander Sammy Morris of the Cleveland Division of Police's 5th District says if you see something, say something, and that it's important that we all work together.
You guys are our eyes and ears out there, and if something's happening, we need for you to tell us and to help us out. And I'm going to give you the definition of snitching. People always talk about snitching. If you and I commit a crime together and you turn on me to save yourself, that's snitching. But if somebody's breaking in your neighbor's house and you call the police, that's being a good neighbor. And we need to get back to being good neighbors and good people and helping each other out.
If you see something, say something. If it's an emergency, dial 911. Non-emergency calls, which you can be anonymous, dial 216-621-1234. To reach your Cleveland City Council member, visit clevelandcitycouncil.org or call 216-664-2840. A new greenhouse has opened its doors in Cleveland's Slavic Village neighborhood, helping plants grow during the harsh Cleveland winter months. It's called Indoor Gardens, and owner Mark Brentlinger says their store gives you everything you need to bring your garden inside.
So here at Indoor Gardens, we focus on offering products that you can use to grow plants indoors. So that's going to include everything from lighting to organic soils, organic fertilizers, and then also hydroponic systems. And then we do all the different environmental controls, so you're going to need fans and that type of thing. So we're basically just offering everything so you can create a garden inside.
Brentlinger says Indoor Gardens also specializes in a different way of growing plants, known as hydroponics.
Hydroponics is basically just growing plants without using soil. So you've got your water and your fertilizer sort of mixed in this liquid solution that you're delivering directly to the plant roots, eliminating the need for that plant to go down into the soil and search for its food and break down the nutrients that are within the soil.
Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson stopped by to check out Indoor Gardens' new facility, where he was personally given a tour of the greenhouse and the hydro farm. Mayor Jackson called the gardens a uniquely executed concept.
It was a unique ideal, and I always am impressed by people who have unique ideals and just don't keep them in their brain, but actually begin to execute and implement on it. And we at the city are really happy to help in turning those ideals into reality.
Ward 12 Councilman Anthony Brancatelli was happy to have a business like this open their doors in the Slavic Village neighborhood.
Indoor Gardens came around. They saw this location right off of Fleet Avenue, right off of 77. They saw how near it is to downtown and the surrounding neighborhoods, and they decided this was a place they're going to grow and expand. They're from Southern Ohio. They were looking for another location, and this ended up being a perfect spot for them. They came in, gutted it, invested a significant amount of dollars in restoring the building, laying it out for what they needed for their purposes as an indoor garden, and being able to show off their hydroponics. And lo and behold, today we're having a wonderful dedication for this new facility and the Indoor Gardens, and it's an amazing, amazing opportunity.
Indoor Gardens is located right off of Fleet Avenue in Slavic Village. For more information, visit their website at indoorgardens.com and be sure to look for them on Facebook and Instagram. Marking the beginning of Black History Month here in the city of Cleveland, the Pan-African flag was raised high above the top of Cleveland City Hall. The red, black, and green flag represents all people of African descent throughout the world. Mayor Frank Jackson attended the ceremony and offered his thoughts.
A person who does not know their history does not know themselves. And when you don't know yourself, and you don't have that identity, then you're very susceptible to manipulation by others. And without knowing yourself, without knowing your history, there's no real ability of you to be able to plan your future that is in your own self-interest.
The celebration was brought into the rotunda of City Hall, where the audience was treated to a performance by the distinguished gentleman of spoken word.
This is our dog. This is our creed. This is our flag. This is our rose. So accept it. Embrace it. Believe it. We hold these truths true.
Dr. Eugene Jordan, president of the Underground Railroad Society and organizer of the event, reflected on the heroes that helped make the Underground Railroad successful.
You think of Harriet Tubman, who went into the South over 19 times and freed her people, over 300 people. You think of Frederick Douglass, who went to the White House and demanded for President Lincoln to free the slaves. So much, a big part of our history is in the Underground Railroad. If you figure a lot of our people would not accept slavery, so they hid away and ran away and escaped on the Underground Railroad.
The Pan-African flag will be flying above City Hall now through the end of the month. As part of the City of Cleveland's Black History Month celebrations, the men and women of our armed forces were recognized at an event in the City Hall Rotunda. Honorees included Triple Nickel Richard Johnson, who was celebrating his 96th birthday, and Tuskegee Airmen Roy Richardson and Asa Newman.
Can I get a hoorah? Thank you.
Tony Scott, Assistant Director for the City of Cleveland's Building and Housing Department, served 8 years in our United States Marines and spoke about his experience enlisting back in 1990 and his time of service.
I just want to thank you personally for your sacrifices. If not for your sacrifices, then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to serve 8 years, good experiences and bad. I'm not going to paint a false picture. But in those 8 years, I learned a lot of lessons that propelled me to where I am now. I was blessed to be the first graduate in my family with an undergraduate degree. And again, pushed past those barriers, was able to obtain my master's degree and my law degree. And now I am blessed and honored to serve as the Assistant Director of Building and Housing, where I have the responsibility of being a leader to 160 outstanding employees. So, but for your sacrifices and those that came before you, I would not be here. So to that, thank you, Semper Fi.
TV20 thanks those who sacrificed their lives to protect ours, serving in the United States military. You can catch that event in its entirety only here on TV20 and our TV20 YouTube channel. Make sure you click to subscribe. Continuing with the Black History Month celebrations, business owners were recognized in a ceremony in the City Hall Rotunda.
We will recognize today the entrepreneurs who have dedicated themselves to the City of Cleveland by providing services within the local African American community and their contributions to enhance their life for Cleveland citizens.
Akil Hamid and Delmar Yarborough were both honored for their work as business leaders in the Black community. Hamid is the CEO of Foss Real Estate Services, and Yarborough is the owner of the Wolf's Den Tavern. The Wolf's Den has been serving Clevelanders for over 20 years.
I cater to the more classy clientele, the older, if you will. It's a place where you can get out and enjoy yourself, have a good cocktail for a reasonable price, and good soul food at the same time. Friday's jazz, so trying to keep in touch with the things from back in the day.
Foss Real Estate has been serving Greater Clevelanders since 2006 with all their property management and real estate needs. CEO Akil Hamid says he was honored to be recognized at the ceremony.
You know, I got a text from my dad who lives in Maryland, and he just kind of reminded me of my grandmother and my great-grandmother who actually owned bars on Superior in Cleveland for years and apartments in East Cleveland. And just listening to them as I grew up just really resonated with me today as a young entrepreneur in this marketplace and really being able to give back to my community.
Black History Month Committee Chair Shelley Shockley said the small businesses are a very important part of the community.
But when we support those businesses, when we go into their establishments and give them our dollar, when we live in that community, we give them that dollar circulates back into the community. And that is where we gain our power. We have power in our dollars.
Also part of the monthly series, publisher Ulysses Grant of the Eastside Daily News was honored at the Building a Sense of Community in Media event for his years of hard work and influence.
And I'm just proud to receive this award. And I want to thank the other Black journalists who encouraged me in journalism as well. Thank you very much.
After receiving his award, Mr. Glenn joined a panel discussion that included local bloggers, radio, and podcast hosts to discuss topics in media and their personal experience.
So as far as this whole media thing is going, personally, I think not only is it the wave of the future, it is the way it's going to go. People are looking to get their news on tablets, on their iPhones and Androids, and even television sets. If you think about it, for those of you who got Fire Sticks at home, you can watch with no commercials. This is where we're going. People don't want to be interrupted when they're watching Scandal or they're watching, one of their favorite television shows.
I truly am elated to see so many people who look like me, who are involved in the next form of media, so that we're not left out, because oftentimes that's what happens. We're still behind the 8 ball when it comes to this, because the numbers are so few, but more and more people are doing these things to bring about community. And that's what today was all about, is to show you some of the ways that we are building community in the city of Cleveland through media, no matter what the form of media, the format may be.
You can catch the panel discussion in its entirety only here on TV20. The City of Cleveland Black History Month Committee held a special presentation at Calvary Church of God in Christ on Superior Avenue, honoring a member of our community who had made a difference.
I thank you for having us here today. I bring greetings on behalf of Director Grady L. Stevenson and Mayor Frank G. Jackson for allowing us to come in and worship with you today, and to have the opportunity to honor someone who has left us, but who has done such good work in our community.
Honoree Gertrude Ribbon's son, Mark, and his wife accepted the plaque on her behalf. We asked Mr. Ribbons to tell us what the honor means to him.
It's an amazing honor for Mom to be honored. She was someone who never sought fame. In fact, someone who thought that she'd come to Cleveland just for a little while to help her husband take care of his dad, who was ailing, and wound up spending the rest of her life here doing work in music and ministry and just helping to bless a lot of people's lives.
Congratulations again to all of this year's Black History Month honorees. We'll be right back with more TV20 News. Welcome back to TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. Mayor Frank Jackson went to the west side of Cleveland to visit the ladies of St. Joe's Academy. TV20 reporter Dan Monroe has more.
The welcome sign was set out as St. Joseph Academy prepared to welcome Mayor Frank Jackson to their campus. When he arrived, he was greeted with a traditional St. Joe's welcome, a clap in from the entire student body. After he made his way through the line, the mayor addressed a group of students from various government-related classes about the theme of service.
Governance is not about being self-serving in terms of using the power of that seat to serve yourself, your friends, or your family members. It's all, if you do that, you're no more than a crook. Even if you don't violate the law, you're a crook. But if you do it and you use the office and the seat to serve the purpose for which you're there, that is what you're supposed to do. And that is what I attempt to do.
After the speech, Mayor Jackson took questions from several of the students. St. Joseph Academy President Mary Ann Corrigan Davis was thrilled to have the mayor visit and recognize what a great opportunity this was for the girls.
The students that were here for the question and answer period with the mayor are girls that are in our government classes, and also a class called Facing History, where we look at government issues and social issues together, so that we're looking at issues like education and immigration from a political standpoint, but also from a social justice standpoint. So these are the young women that were here today to get their firsthand words from the mayor.
Senior Jane Roach said she loved hearing about how the mayor became the mayor.
Well, I'm a student who's interested in political science, so I was really excited to hear him talk about his own experience becoming mayor after being president of city council. So that was a really unique experience for me to hear from him personally about his transition into public life.
Afterwards, Mayor Jackson was given a VIP tour of the campus where he inspected all the technology and amenities available to the students. Emily, Deidre, and Maya showed me one of the rooms the mayor toured called the Makerspace.
The technology that's available just in this one room is actually really crazy. We have a bank of 3D printers kind of behind, well, over there. But then we have vinyl cutters, which you can use to be able to make t-shirts, to stickers for your water bottles. And then we have laser engravers, which people will use to make either little box structures to engraving things such as pictures.
It was clear the students enjoyed having Mayor Jackson tour their beloved campus and walk their hallowed halls, and it's an experience they won't soon forget. Even the school's president believed the girls took away some valuable lessons from the mayor.
I think the lessons learned today is that, first of all, integrity, he spoke about that, talking about always being the best and always having the greater good in mind. I think that was another message that came through. What's best for the whole community, not just for an individual person.
For more information on St. Joseph Academy, visit their website at sja1890.org. For TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
An informative presentation was held in the City Hall Rotunda about something that affects almost everyone. As part of Cleveland's Black History Month program series, Specialist Maria Sadie from Westbrook Place Nursing and Rehabilitation Facility was brought in to talk about Alzheimer's, dementia, and their caregivers. In her presentation, Sadie gave sobering facts about this debilitating disease.
Okay, so Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is actually the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, believe it or not. It is 1 in every 3 seniors die with dementia and other related dementia diseases.
Sadie also talked about things we should know about people in the early stages of Alzheimer's.
You know, that forgetfulness as opposed to the dementia is there. A lot of people think, oh, they're just getting old, they're forgetting, when seriously, it could be the disease. You know, we go through forgetfulness as we get older, we tend to forget things, but the disease itself, it becomes more of a confusional state as opposed to the forgetful state.
Being a caregiver to someone with Alzheimer's can be a very stressful job. Sadie said it's important to take care of yourself.
If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. So absolutely, I mean, find someone, another family member, friends, you could take an hour off a day. You know, like I mentioned, respite care. There are plenty of facilities out there who take respite care, which means that you can just put them in a nursing home or a facility for 3, 4, 5 days, whatever amount of days that you want, you know, to kind of relieve that burden from you for a little while so you can rejuvenate.
If you're a caregiver for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, Sadie says you are not alone and there is help for you. Visit the Alzheimer's Association website at alz.org for more information. The American Heart Association and University Hospitals hosted the 15th annual Cleveland Go Red for Women Expo and Luncheon at the Hilton Hotel in downtown Cleveland. Attendees had an opportunity to speak with medical professionals, purchase merchandise, enter raffles, get massages, and learn CPR.
Today we're here to show people CPR, basically how important it is to learn CPR and the importance of an AED. So in the event a friend or family member goes down, you are equipped with all the knowledge to get them hopefully back alive before paramedics like me get there.
We walked in and the first thing we did was CPR. And I was telling my oldest she wants to be, you know, a babysitter, and you have to know that. And even Delaney did it. So just the importance of that, which was a huge deal. They do it in school now, where they teach the students. And just knowing to keep healthy, stay active, which they both are, and just take care of yourself, you know, and that's what this is about. So I'm super happy to be here.
The event stresses the importance of being heart healthy and knowing the symptoms of a heart attack.
Most people relate chest pain as a classic symptom of a heart attack. Most heart attacks don't come that way. And women pretty much don't feel that symptom. They may feel jaw, they may feel even headaches that might be associated with that. So the biggest point for us is that women, as they age, they should check with their primary care physicians if they have any risk factors, and then take care of those risk factors, because prevention overall is the most important thing that we can do.
For more information, visit ahacleveland.org. What do pediatricians and books have in common? We sent TV20 reporter Dan Monroe to the Westtown Physician Center to learn more about the Reach Out and Read program.
The doctors at Fairview Hospital Westtown Physician Center believe that reading is doctor recommended. That's why they participate in the Reach Out and Read program, a program co-founded 27 years ago by Cleveland pediatrician Dr. Robert Needleman.
Reach Out and Read came out of a collaboration between educators and pediatricians. And we were taking books to the kids in the clinic, kids in the hospital, and just watching what happened with the parents and the kids. And we observed the parents getting excited when their children turned on to books. We observed that if we went into the waiting room and started looking at books with the toddlers there, all the parents in the waiting room would pay attention and they'd start looking at books with their kids. So we discovered, we meaning me and a group of early childhood educators, discovered that this was a powerful tool to bring into a medical setting.
Through the Reach Out and Read program, patients from infancy through 5 years old are given a book each time they come in for their well visit.
Hello, guys! Happy New Year!
Westtown pediatrician Dr. Tara Williams completed her residency under Dr. Needleman, and she understands the importance of getting the children accustomed to books at a young age.
A lot of development happens between birth and 2 years of age, and so making sure that they're developing appropriately. We talk to families about promoting early literacy, and so not only do we give parents books, but we talk to them about how to use the book to really engage the child and help that child develop a love of words, a love of pictures, and really helps to develop that child's vocabulary.
Margaret Provoteris has been bringing her children to Dr. Williams for years and says she appreciates the books given to her young son, Logan.
It was really nice that they offered the books to him, because when they get the books, it's something new and they're interested in it. So it's us reading it, them learning their colors, or if it's a shape, if it's an animal, it's something new that they're playing with. So it's really nice that they get a book.
Dr. Williams says reading out loud to your kids can make all the difference in the world.
Well, we know that having early exposure to reading really helps to prepare that child for learning to read and being ready for kindergarten. And when you don't have that exposure, it puts that child behind in terms of being ready, having kindergarten readiness and being ready to read at the age of 5.
We read all the time.
How is he doing with that? Does he enjoy?
My other one over there, they are really into books. We have a variety. We have a lot of books that we go through every day.
To learn more about the Reach Out and Read program, or to see if there's a participating physician center near you, visit their website at reachoutandreadgc.org. At Westtown Physician Center, for TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
That's all for your TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. Up next, we'll have Christian Patterson with the Inside Sports Report.